Good morning. And my camera is a little bit crooked. Let me, you know what? I gotta tell you this like story. With my old camera, I started getting these two lines across my screen and I couldn't figure out what they were. So I thought it was my camera. And then I upgraded my camera and it's still there. And I just like yesterday realized they were like leveling things so I could see if my camera's straight. So from this video on, not including the videos I've already recorded and scheduled, my video should be straight. Anyway, hello, welcome. My name is Melinda. Welcome to a Web of Stories. This is the first weekly wrap up. Got my thing over here. First weekly wrap up for 2025. We're here, folks. Gird your loins. We're here. So I hope you all had a nice New Year's. My family doesn't do much for New Year's, mostly because we want to stay off the roads. It's just not a good idea to be out on the roads on New Year's Eve. So what we do, and I've talked about this in the past, but for the last several years, we have done the thing where you watch Avengers Endgame and you time it so that the snap is at midnight. And we have done that since 2019 to 2020, or yeah, I think that, or whatever, because it really felt like we're getting rid of like the negative stuff and moving into a brighter future. And then doesn't feel like that this year, and I didn't want to watch Endgame. But then I found out you can get Wicked streaming on the 30th here, 9 p.m. on the 30th, because it's midnight on the 31st. And someone had said if you started at 9:30:18, Elphaba's battle cry is at midnight. And I'm like, that is a movie we should be doing, like fighting fascism. So we did that, except, just FYI, the 9:30:18, you're off by like 35 seconds. So at some point, I am sure that I will watch it again because I bought it. I didn't rent it. And I'll time it and I will, because, you know, we want to be right next year, because I'm sure we will be watching Wicked again next year. Anyway, so that was our New Year's. Since then, it's been pretty low-key. I was hoping to get a lot of my errands and stuff done yesterday, but I wasn't feeling great for some reason. I think I don't know what it was, but I feel fine today. It's fine. So I'm going to do a couple videos, and then I'm going to go like do some stuff. That's my week. But normally, this is going to be a shorter video, because normally what I do, if you've never seen my weekly wrap-ups, is I usually talk about what I have finished in the past week, and then that's it. I usually don't really talk about what I'm currently reading, because that's all down. I put it all down in the stuff below. Well, I did finish books this week, but I covered them in my the wrap-up that came out on Thursday. So those books, let me actually tell you at least what those books were, because I'm not gonna revisit them. That is not the right spreadsheet. Sorry, I should have been prepared. I'm never prepared. Okay, here we go. The books that I finished since my last update, but were covered in my wrap-up for December/2024, were Ring Shout, The Rooster House, The Very First Damned Thing, The Answer Is No, Zenith Man, Ariadne, and The Mousetrap. So I actually did finish, what is that, 7 books. 2 of them were standalone stories, so it's not that impressive. One was a novella and one was a play. So really, 7 books is not as impressive as it sounds. But I'm not going to go into them again. If you want to know what I thought about them, I talk about them in my wrap-up that came out on Thursday. But just because since then I haven't actually finished anything, I am going to at least tell you what I have started the year with. So I currently have 5 books going, but let's start here. So I'll start with my print books. I always have decided, like, hey, this is the second year in a row I've done it, but I just think it's a good way to start, is to start my short story reading for the year with the best American short stories of the previous year. So this is the best American short stories of 2024. This was released in October of last year, and it's edited by Lauren Groff. And these are really interesting because you can see the personality of the editor come out in the stories that they've chosen. I've read 2 stories in here so far, and I always give my stories for my own records. I give them a letter grade. One was an A and one was a C. So we're going to see how this one goes. But yeah, so I've started on that. Once I finish this, I will read the best American crime and mystery and crime, whatever that one is. The one that S.A. Cosby edited. So I'll do that one after this, and then I'll get back into regular short story stuff. And then we'll do this one. This is a group read with some people who are in Bookish Friends for the Currently Reading podcast. And it's a very, very slow read. It is a reread for me. And that is Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch in the West by Gregory Maguire. We all know what Wicked is about, and this is shiny, so it's kind of hard to see. This is the 40th anniversary edition. And I mean, I am reading the first section, which is the first 66 pages over 2 weeks. So far I've read the prologue. If you follow me on Storygraph or Goodreads, I'm at 1% on this book. I'm reading like 3 pages a day. So, yeah. But as I said, I'm going really slowly. I have my little sticky notes and my transparent sticky notes so I can annotate without damaging the book. I have all that going. And then once we've all read it, we're going to do a Zoom discussion of it. I'm really looking forward to that. Because I love this book, but I only read it once when it came out, which was 40 years ago. So 40, was it really? It must have been, no, it must have been 35. When was this released? It couldn't have been 40, 1995. Okay, it was not 40. It was 30. I don't feel as old now. 30 years ago. Not 40. I'm not that old. Anyway, so that. And then the final print book that I am reading is 1,000 Moons by Sebastian Barry. And this is for my library book club. So this is a follow-up to Days Without End, which we had read last summer, I think, which is a good book, but we all had an issue with it. And we are not the only ones who had issues with it. If you go and look at like response to that book when it was released, it was a pretty universal response to it, in that there was a character in there that was a young Lakota girl who, like, her entire tribe had, other than the kids, had been slaughtered, and then she'd been taken in to live with a wife of the commander of the military that was there, and then she was adopted by these 2 men, and it, you know, goes on and on, but she never seemed to suffer any trauma from what happened to her, and it was really weird. And Sebastian Barry had been asked quite a bit about it, so I was wondering if he was going to address that in this book, and yes, he does. Like, the first section is all about, yes, there was trauma, but no, she doesn't remember it, and maybe that's why. So it's very much it's not fan service, it's a response. It's a response to the criticism he got, which I don't know how to think about that, honestly. On one hand, okay, I'm glad that you recognized this. Second of all, I kind of didn't need it so on the nose, you know? Does that make any sense? And it took a little while to get into this because of that. And now that we've gotten into it, I'm doing a little bit better with it. I think that it will ultimately be a successful book for me, but I don't think it's going to be, shouldn't say I don't think it's going to be as successful for Days Without End, because Days Without End had that big issue for me, which is addressed here. So maybe I'm just going to have to look at these 2 books as a single unit and kind of decide on it from there. So that's 1,000 Moons by Sebastian Barry. And then I have, I pulled this up here so I can get it right. I have a book on my Kindle that I'm reading, and this one was highly recommended to me by Bookish Best Friend. And this is a mystery series. It's the Lane Winslow mystery series, and the first one is A Killer in King's Cove. Now, Bookish Best Friend described this to me as a mix between Three Pines and Maisie Dobbs. And then she said, oh, that's really on point. That's what it is. I've not read Maisie Dobbs. I did read, the author of Maisie Dobbs put out this other book, and I don't know if it's the beginning of another series or if it's a standalone, but it was like a woman who was a spy. I can definitely see that influence in these books. Like, that is definitely there. I don't feel really Three Pine-ish about it, and I think the idea with the Three Pine tie is you're in a town and the town kind of plays a part. And so, yeah, there's that, but this felt so much more, and this is kind of, I don't know, it feels a lot more like Ellen Montgomery than Louise Penny, which is fine. This is not a criticism of it. It's just a comment. So once I kind of accepted, okay, this is not going to be Louise Penny. This is going to be Ellen Montgomery. It's settled. It got into it. It did take a little while to actually get to the murder, which was after my experience with the last Miss Marple I read. I was a little worried, but we have gotten to it. And I do understand this is the beginning of a series, so we are kind of setting up the world. So I guess we did need a little bit, I guess we needed more of that time, but to go back to Louise Penny, if you've ever read Still Life, like the murder is like right there, like that's how it starts. And then it's built in. So again, another reason why it's not like Louise Penny, but there you go. I'm enjoying it so far. And I think, Bookish Best Friend really loves this series. It is a Canadian series. It's set in British Columbia, kind of out of the way in British Columbia. And Bookish Best Friend, by the way, is Canadian. So that makes sense. So I am enjoying it, and I probably will read along with this series. So I have that. And then on audio, I am listening to We Solve Murders by Richard Osman. I had this book, I had the hold come in for the ebook, and then someone said, get the audio. So I returned the ebook, put myself on hold for the audio, and waited months. And it finally came in on New Year's Eve. So I waited till New Year's to start it. It took me a while to get into this. I'm going to be honest. I'm about 40% into it right now, and it's picked up. I'm into it now, but it took a good 25% to get into it. And I don't know why that is, because the only other Osman I've read are the Thursday Murder Club books. I still need to read the most recent one of that. But those got me right away, and this one really took a little bit longer. But it is good. I mean, I'm enjoying it now. It just has taken a while to get into it. It's not going to rate up there with Thursday Murder Club for me, but it is enjoyable so far. But yeah, so that is what I am currently reading. As I said, I have yet to finish a book in 2025, but I'm filming this on the 3rd, so it's okay. I'm going to tell you how much I had to take a little step back for a moment, because I was thinking, oh, should I read an Amazon story to get something so I could say I read something? And I was like, stop. People are going to understand that I haven't finished a book yet. It's okay. So there you go. I may still read an Amazon story because I have some out that I want to read. But if I read it, it's going to be because I want to read it and not because I feel it, because I feel like I have to present something to you, because I just presented to you my current reading. So that is where I am now. As I said, I'm going to spend the rest of the day doing errands, and then I am going to probably read some more. I will have books. I will probably have most of these finished. I think I will have everything except Wicked finished by next week. So you'll hear what I thought of it. And then, I have at least one more video that I am going to do. I did want to give you guys a heads up. And my iPad has my calendar on it turned off. Okay. So not this coming Wednesday, which is January 8th, but the following Wednesday, which is January 15th. January 8th is going to be my draw for the February Shakespeare play. But on the 15th, I'm going to do my announcement video for my Bronte event in March. So stay tuned. Get your Bronte on. I have all these Bronte t-shirts, so you'll start to see my Bronte t-shirts. But you probably have already seen some of them, but I haven't actually shown them off. But I will make a point of showing off my Bronte shirts. Anyway, I'm babbling. I'm going to cut it. Happy New Year, everybody. Let's make this a good reading year. That's within our control. So we can do it. Like, subscribe, join my Discord. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.